I, I'm just at a loss because I can't believe we're here. Like again, another message missed because we're so caught up on it doesn't feel good to hear, and I'm sad about it, and that's fine. Like, you're a girl, feel your feelings, right? Because I'm sensitive too. But at the end of the day, the point is that man is protecting his child from what we see it. We may not live it, that might not be our life, but we see it. And they talk about it enough for it to be a thing. So there are plenty of statistics that say we are failing and we don't want to say it. So that's what really pisses me off about the whole thing. It's like we see the problems, they're continuing to lay out the problems, but nobody's saying, oh, you know what? Maybe if I change this, maybe if I listen to what you're saying and get out of my feelings, then we can progress and talk about changing that young man's mind because the women that we're producing, our daughters and our goddaughters and our nieces, are a better version of us coming up. Like, that's the whole deal. But we want to miss it because we want to feel so much.
No, I agree. That's what I was saying earlier when I said, "What are we doing to put out there to where it's not thought like that?" Um, and me making the statement earlier as far as choices that are being made, and maybe that's perhaps majority. Really, that's why it comes across as black women not being marriageable. Um, but we can make the choice to say, "Hey, it it seems like all, but it's not all." Like, and I don't. That's like I said, I don't agree. And me not agreeing with the statement was just because I'm a girl and I'm in my feelings. Like, I don't want to agree with it, but I see why. I see the behavior. I see things that are going on, even within myself, as far as choices that I've made. So I can see it plainly why that could be a statement. But me not agreeing just because I don't want to concede to saying just give up. Like, I'll just be honest. I don't want to say give
I'm gonna
up,
say
man.
this. Let me give y'all a proper retort. Let me give y'all a proper retort to what Bean said. It's not. Yeah, let me answer it because it's not a race thing as much as it is a class thing. You'll be surprised, right? So when you move in cities like a Washington D.C., right, and you look at that echelon of women, you'll realize that these behaviors don't rear themselves in mass. Now they still exist, right? I'll be DJing a WBA party, and it's still the same music. They twerk and whatever the case is, right? That's seemingly something that we both accept, men and women in our culture, was probably a cultural issue, just generally speaking. But when you see people that have high education and are making money, generally those people stay together, right? The prescriptions and subscriptions are different, So when you have an average income for young black professionals, like when I was there and Tay was there, of $80,000, the movement is different. If I DJ at 30 clubs, 15 of them don't even have security. They got the one person at the door, and you're not expecting that at black owned predominant spots, right? But that's the echelon of people that exist in that very small pool, because DC is not a huge city, right? So it doesn't negate the fact that the majority probably had the behavior, but within that confine, you can find these gems. But it has a whole lot to do with the
Access.
class in which people are in.
Because the Jack and Jills of it all, the Divine
Nah, I
Nine.
don't need you to build on my point. What I'm
Oh,
saying is that you do have that minority in which you can find it. That would be my pushback, but I don't know if it would make him concede that point because he still has data and statistics to verify and still man what he presented. And then what the retorts that we got today, I don't know if they broke down his point or still man his point.
but him, based on what you just said, if you're D9 or Legacy, he wouldn't be any. You wouldn't date his son because he's not within the organization. So even in that, there's classism that is practiced, and also there is a way or a web of where people connect and where they want their children to marry within a particular culture. So even in that, like, it just, I can't. You got it.
Niggas don't give a fuck about no fraternity sorority. If she fly, niggas going. Period.
No, Jack and Jill is not a fraternity. Eastern Masons, there are all kind of lodges, associations, and things where Black people that are
Nobody care about that
interconnected.
shit.
You say what now?
Nobody don't care about that shit. Ain't nobody telling your friend, your son, you better date a Delta. Talking about. Don't give a damn about that shit. Most of the time we going to we do it so we can have sex with more women. And then we do motherfucking we sweep up the street once every quarter. Come on, man.
Oh wow. Okay.
Tiff, do you have daughters or do you just have sons?
I have one child. I have a son.
You have a son. Okay. Is he like a teenager, older adult?
My son is 27.
Okay. In your experience with, I'm sure that he's dated if he's that, he's a little younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
In your experience, has he brought home Black women?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. From what you've seen, whether being on the internet or out in the world, as far as that generation of, women, Black women like us, you see the difference a little bit kind of certain things, right? Do you understand the behaviors as far as what Beans was talking about?
I don't associate it with race because I've seen some of the Latinas that are spicy, rude, and immannerable. I've seen, he's smart. He's never brought a white girl home to date. He's brought Latinas and Black and mixed. And I think once you get to the point to where you come to the house, it's different. But I've seen a lot of chicks that will climb out of a window when he was in high school. I actually thought that's nuts. Like, girl, you climb through a window. And it wasn't a particular thing. It was just, that's just not, that's just behavior. I don't associate it with, a race. And maybe that's the thing. Like, I'm a band nerd. Where I graduated, it's 6% Black. Where I live is probably 2%. So I know what it is to be absolutely immersed in a white world, to the point to where I've seen white women that are kind and white women that are absolutely rude and nasty. I've seen non-Black women that are absolutely kind and absolutely nasty. I don't associate that with a race. Now, do I think
we can all concede, I'm sorry, Tiff, we can all concede to the point that there's multiple different types of horrible people in different races, but we are focused on how we can better the Black community.
Right.
What can we see in our young Black women, or even in ourselves when we were younger, that we didn't learn from, to be like, this is the type of behavior that I wouldn't want my child because I know what he may want to have?
I will say this, and we can take it from my son and I'll move it to my niece that she's 16. I call it the bad girl club of it. What is the Black channel that people watch? Zeus, the Zeus network of it all. I do not understand the application or the pushing of the ghettoism. I feel like that, to me, is purposefully done to kind of flatten what Blackness looks like. That, to me, is very concerning. If that's the loudest representation, then yeah, it has to be addressed. It has to be addressed, because we are not all that. The bonnet in the airport type foolishness, the we fighting on carnival type foolishness, like, absolutely.
Y'all missing it. You're missing it. You're missing it. And the hyperbole of the Zeus network is a cop out.
I'm not.
Right.
I don't even,
you know what? What I'm saying is, you know what?
Conversation. That's not a cop out.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you why. Because we act like we are not the people in which are being complained about. So if he's saying wives, he's looking at data and statistics, right? Because you're actually a proponent of the data and statistics as well, Tiff, right? You like to support whatever you're doing when you had that one-on-one Miss Fantastic with data and statistics, right? So he's looking at that, looking at his experience, and he says, here's what you will yield the best results in terms of marriage, right? Again, I don't agree, but when he puts the book together, right? It's gonna prove knowing beings what he's saying, right? But you know what is a no. But you know what is a part of the behavior? You saying your mama black. So in the midst of you saying it was disrespectful, then you say your mama black. That don't have nothing to do with nothing. But that type of stuff is a part of the behaviors that are being complained about, right? And I want y'all to understand that it's not just, you can't just say, oh, Zeus Network is, no, it's how we behave on a daily basis. And that's a part of it too.
Am I able to do a report?
Stop talking while I'm talking though, Tiff, right? That's the part. So here's the thing. If I take myself and they talking about black men are violent, right? I know that I still have the I will punch a white man in his face if he called me a nigger. I know I will do that. You see? So when they start talking about black men are violent, I'm not going to be like, oh, and it ain't me because I ain't been arrested in 10 years. It ain't me. No, nigga. I'm niggas. Now, to a much lesser degree than, the niggas who do, the other shit, right? You seen the Philly tape. But see, we always act like we ain't the people. But we literally exude the behaviors on a consistent basis.
Am I able to respond?
You're not listening to me. So if you want to talk, if you want to talk after I'm done talking, yes.
Okay.
Right. But don't say respond because I know it won't be directly to me. But I just want to make sure to highlight the fact that, how we exist, we exude the behaviors that are unbecoming. And the Zeus Network is a cop out because y'all ain't fighting on a cheap ass network.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tim.
So one, I'm going to respond to what you said. The Zeus cop is not a cop out. Yeah, no, I'm not throwing blows. Not that type, not doing it. And I'm not that type. Just no, not. Now, when you said, and we're talking about marriage, if the goal is just to be married, then absolutely you can marry out. If the goal is to sustain a marriage, then you probably should marry a black woman because black men that are married to non-black women have a much higher divorce rate. So is the goal to be married or is the goal to sustain a marriage, raise a family, and create legacy? So again, when I'm saying certain things, because yes, I am very much a person that I allow and I like data to support, but also when we're looking at data, you have to have the nuance to look and see how many people were questioned, how many people took this. If you're giving me a graph or statistics and it was 52 people, that is a very small graph. So when we're talking about statistics, and the reason that myself and Fantastic had a conversation is, yes, he likes to quote stats, but if you're using the data appropriately, not necessarily so. And that was a win for me, and you even gave credit. So again, I don't use stats in effect to try to weaponize, but I do know for certain that if you're looking at marriages that have sustainability, black marriages, black men to black women, they do not divorce at the same rate as black men to non-black women. The divorce rate is far higher, far. And if you take black women married to non-black men, their divorce rate is even lower. So
I guess your argument, because like I said, I knew the response was going to be. Now, I guess your argument is black women date out.
No, not at the same rate, not at all. No.
But you're saying that their divorce rate when they date out is far lower, and it's lower than that of when they date black men.
But in comparison, the race loyalty, Black women have a far higher rate, and we're actually the least likely to date out. I think it goes back to, we are not looking at all Black men and giving everybody the same jacket. I think that a lot of Black women can be hurt, have their own things, they can be healing, but the desire to still marry a Black man is very high.
Yeah, no, I just want to reflect based on the stats that you just leveraged. You saying Black women based on divorce rates from other to when they marry other races to date out.
No, if they marry, no, because we're
But they
talking
daddy,
about
but they daddy Black.
exactly, and she made a choice.
But you
But
just
can I-
said what Bean said was disrespectful. But then you literally saying she made a choice.
No. I did not say that I would advise any woman or any young man to not look at a Black person as marriage material. That
But
is
they can make a choice.
Excuse me.
But they can make a choice.
That's their choice. That's
And
a
based
choice.
on it,
I
and
would
based on
advise.
the stat, no, 100%. But based on the stats you just shared, it makes more sense. For women to date out. They daddy
would-
Black. And then you made sure to highlight that Black men get divorced from everybody more than everybody.
They do.
So are you trying to paint Black men in a negative light?
Not at all.
But your daddy Black though.
Daddy Black, son Black, husband Black, you Black, and you know what I can say? Love Black men. Love you down, stand down, 10 toes by you. So you can't say no different, because I can say what the world say.
What
and
was
what
the
they
point of the
experience
stat?
is different than mine.
So what was the
You
point of the
brought up
stat?
the stats. You brought that up. I responded.
What are you talking about? You literally just gave the stats.
No. We said, okay, Hamp, you right, I'm wrong.
Your daddy Black. Why you highlight the fact that Black men get divorced from everybody? And the other thing is you allowed your son to date who he wanted.
Absolutely.
And you prayed that he brought a Black woman. So then you didn't get any recommendation. Why take such exception when Beans gives a recommendation based on experience?
You kind of broke up, but I did not and will not and will never tell my son, if you want to be married, never date a Black woman. Versus, oh, you can do all of the things, but when it's time to get married, don't marry Black. Absolutely not. Because I was very much, if she can't use your comb, don't bring her home. What did I just say? My son has never brought a white woman to the house. The spicy Latina, she was cute. She didn't last, because what he realized was women are women, and his preference is to be within his culture. That's his preference. He is an adult. Would I prefer to have Black children and Black grandbabies? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, do I want my son to marry somebody that he loves? He can be upright. He can be a good father and a good husband. That is what I want for him.
Weak. It's weak. And that, but we took such a strong stance.
What's
Let me
weak?
tell you why. We took such a strong stance against Beans, and now you on some YMCA shit.
Okay, here.
Know what I tell my son? Absolutely not, nigga. You bet not bring that person from the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia in here. I'm not playing that shit. I don't give a fuck what Uncle Bean said.
But you not.
But Daddy, Uncle Bean said, I don't give a fuck. What call that nigga?
You gonna disown your baby?
That's the thing. I'm not my recommendation. He's already gonna be so ingrained, right? He's like, Dad, I already know that.
But I'm asking you, you do all of the things, and she still bring Becky. You
not
what?
He not. He not. Cause this ain't the YMCA over here.
I'm asking.
I'm not telling him, oh, if you be a good father, well then nah, nigga.
So if he does, he's no longer.
He ain't. I don't have to entertain it.
You do, okay. All right.
Yeah, no, it's y'all niggas that be with everything. We are the world pro-choice niggas. That's y'all. That y'all kids just do what they want to do around you. That's y'all. Chug wear fringes to school. You understand? He got a real baseline. It ain't fluid. Be safe and do the right thing, man. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend, and we out.